If you're thinking about buying or selling a home in the Northeast Florida area, stay tuned. In this video, I'm going to share the most recent market data and what it means for you. Let's get to it. My name is Andrea Delancy. I've been a realtor in the Jacksonville and Northeast Florida area for over 17 years and a resident here for over 30 years. If you're new to my channel, I post weekly videos on local market trends, featured communities and home tours, especially new construction, and just general information about living in the Northeast Florida area. And if you find these videos helpful, please do me a favor and like, share, and subscribe. Okay, so let's talk about what we're seeing in our local Jacksonville real estate market as of August 2021. We're still experiencing a very strong seller's market. This is being fueled by high demand and an extremely low inventory of available homes, along with the historically low interest rates that seem to be holding steady. It's definitely a great time to take advantage of that extra buying power, but there just aren't enough homes to satisfy the demand right now. In our area too, we've seen a huge influx of people relocating from other parts of the country, looking for more affordable housing, lower property taxes, and just wanting to move away from the larger, more densely populated cities. I'm going to share some numbers with you because it does help sometimes to see numbers, but if you're like me, I'm usually more interested in translating what those numbers mean in a more practical sense. So bear with me while I share a little information to put it all in perspective. But later, I'm also going to talk about what the numbers mean to you as a buyer and a seller. So as we're analyzing the numbers from August, we did see a bit of a shift, not a big one, but some small indications that the market is cooling off. And to be honest, it could just be the typical cooling off that we tend to see in August and September of every year. Those are usually slower months because the kids are getting back to school, back into sports and activities. And so those months are just historically less busy. So we'll just have to see if that trend continues. To give you a better idea of what I mean by a small shift, let's compare to June's numbers because that's when things really peaked for us here as the busiest month so far. In June, we had an average of 4,201 homes on the market. That's a 1.3 month supply of homes. And if you haven't heard that number before, months supply is just one way that we measure inventory of available homes at any given time. It basically refers to the number of months it would take for the current inventory to sell at the current market pace. So to put that in perspective, in a normal balanced market, we would see a 5 to 6 months supply of homes. So to be at 1.3 months supply in June, you can see how that's extremely low. Also in June, we saw an average of a 20% increase in home prices from the same time last year. That's incredibly high. A normal rate for home values to increase year over year is between 4 and 6%. And again, it's the high demand that's driving home values up at such a fast rate in such a short period of time. June also had 3,483 closed sales within an average sales price of $373,378. And with those closed sales, sellers got an average of 0.7% over their asking price. And that's, again, the result of those competitive multiple offer situations. Jumping to the numbers for August, here's where we see the little bit of a shift. The inventory of homes actually increased to an average of 4,618 available homes. So that's an increase of just over 400 homes on the market area-wide, making the month's supply go from 1.3 to 1.4 months. which is definitely a step in the right direction. We want to see that number continue to increase to get a more balanced market. The average sales price also went down slightly from $373,378 to $362,699 in August. And sellers only got an average of right at 100% of their asking price instead of over asking price like we saw in June, which is just another indication that those multiple offer situations may not be as prevalent going forward. The home value increase was at 14% from the same month last year compared to the 20% year over year in June. So when you do compare the numbers, you can see where things are shifting just a bit. And again, it's not yet clear if things will continue to cool off as we move forward. They may ramp up again later in the year. Buyer activity does tend to increase again as we move toward the end of the year. Now, let's talk about how all of this will affect you as a buyer or seller. Keep in mind, the numbers I'm mentioning are averages for our area. Jacksonville is the largest city in the U.S. by land mass. And because of that, the numbers and market activity can vary so greatly by specific areas of town or even by community. There are still some areas where we haven't really seen much cooling off at all, especially in certain price points. So what does all of that mean for you? As a buyer, it's still more important than ever to have a plan as you go into your home search. Take the necessary steps to get pre-approved for your financing up front so you know exactly what you have to work with and the price point that you can comfortably shop in. More than likely, that will need to be below the maximum price you've been approved for. So you have room to go up in the event of a multiple offer situation. You also need to know how much cash do you have to work with, because even if a home isn't getting multiple offers, sellers are still not necessarily going to be negotiating very much. You'll likely still have to pay all your own closing costs in addition to your down payment, and you may want to have some extra cash available for things like appraisal gaps if that situation comes up. Your agent should be educating you on what's happening in the specific area you're looking in so you can tailor your search and your offers to fit your buying capabilities. If you'd like a more specific update based on the area and price point you're looking in, comment below or send me a quick email and I'd be happy to send you a more customized report. Now, as far as sellers, it's still important to price your home properly and in line with the most recent sales for your specific area and neighborhood. There may still be some room to expect a little over market value, but what the numbers are indicating is that buyers are reaching their tolerance with the fast-paced increases in home prices. They're starting to get fatigued with the multiple offer situations, and a lot of them are deciding to put their search on hold and wait until conditions improve. And we're seeing more cases of homes that are overpriced, sit on the market for longer, and we're also seeing more price reductions. So even though it's still a great time to sell and get top dollar, it might be getting less likely to expect above asking price than it was, say, a few months ago. The best strategy, in my opinion, right now is to price slightly below market value just to get that extra interest and activity, and that will bring multiple offers. And with multiple offers, you get to choose the terms that work best for you, and it's still the best chance of getting you top price. Just like I recommended for buyers, as a seller, you should also be talking to your agent about the trends in your specific area and base your pricing and marketing strategy on what the numbers are telling you. Remember, agents don't determine prices, the market does. So be realistic, monitor the showing activity and feedback, and just be willing to make adjustments along the way if you need to. If you've been thinking about selling and want more specifics on what your home is worth in the current market, comment below or send me an email and I'm happy to put together a custom market analysis for you. Another indicator of a small shift is the new construction industry is actually starting to catch up a little bit with the demand. Some builders are starting to have more land and home sites available, And they're even projecting to have more finished spec homes to choose from in the coming months. I've even seen some start to offer incentives to buyers again. If you're interested in new construction options, feel free to email me and I can send you a full list of what's available and also what's coming up. I hope you guys found this information helpful. If you'd like to have a conversation about anything real estate related, please feel free to reach out to me anytime. And don't forget to like and subscribe. Thanks for watching. I'll see you next time.